Hi, do you like my mic setup? We had a EF1 tornado happen less than a week ago in my town, and there are so many just like cleanup crew trucks going down our road because it touched down like less than a mile from our house, and there's just too much background noise in my office for me to not rock a mic. And I have these little I have these little ones, but they're dead because I never use them. The fuck. So here we are, okay? Because, I cannot wait to get this message to you when things are just more organized or cleaner, more copacetic. I have a few things to talk to you about today. Settle in. Hi, welcome to another Mic Drop Monday. I don't even know how this is going to sound whenever I go back to put all this together. So if it's super annoying, continue on. Right, just keep it moving, baby. First, grab a cold brew and let's get into it. I contemplated on sharing this. I really did. I was like, does this make me seem like, what does this say about me, this story that I'm about to share with you? And I'll tell you right now, a lot of people in the coaching industry, they don't talk about this, but it is a really common thing. And I know this because not only do I have friends and peers in this industry, but I've also coached so many of these women who have experienced the same thing in their coaching industry. And it's not even unique to coaching. Like, this happens across the board. Even big companies like Amazon and Walmart and Starbucks and McDonald's, and like whenever I used to be a manager for Olive Garden, the corporate machine that is fast casual dining, right? A client of mine, and again, I'm trying to do this in a way that my point across, and I think a lot of the reason why I'm having a little bit of hesitation with sharing this is because it is black and white, but it's not. And the reason it's not black and white is because this is more of a story about me and just like my own evolution, especially with integrating the Restfully Rich philosophy, the Restfully Rich methodology, the healing of everything too, right? Like, you get to a certain level in your healing journey and in your life journey where you just don't fucking take shit anymore. And when you decide to not take any shit, the universe is going to present you with opportunities to stand in that, right? So you can sit here and say, like, I'm tired of people being mean to me on the internet. Well, guess what? You're going to get on the internet and people are going to be mean to you, and the universe is going to go, okay, how are you going to stand in this? Are you going to really set that boundary, or are you going to let it send you into a spiral or whatever? I'll tell you this. For me, it's something that in my mind is telling me is mean, right? Like, it's mean to have boundaries. It's mean to prioritize yourself. But the reality is, mean is such a passive aggressive, because to me, being mean, and I have a whole podcast episode on this. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Alyssa Simpson. I'm a Restfully Rich manifestation coach. My podcast, the Restfully Rich podcast, you can listen to an episode where I literally talk about the rebranding of the word bitch, because as women, we are told to be soft and kind and sweet. And this is why so many women that I work with have to overcome that people-pleasing tendency. Because as children, we are told, like, smile, be nice, say hello, say thank you, when really it's like, I don't fucking feel good. Get out of my face. Like, I don't want to hug and kiss on you or wear this itchy ass dress or whatever, you know? And as I have really integrated the Restfully Rich methodology and just the framework of it all, there is a lot of, because I talk about operating through your feminine energy, but your feminine energy isn't this white linen dress, dancing barefoot in a meadow with flowers in your hair. I mean, sure, that can be for some women, but that's not the embodiment of owning your feminine energy. When I think of feminine energy, I think of a fucking mama lion. She is nurturing and protective of her cubs, but the second a predator comes around and tries to fuck with her, there will be blood, right? And like, that's how I see, isn't that a band, There Will Be Blood? I used to listen to that kind of shit growing up. I still kind of do, but once it made me think of it, probably one of those bands that had no business going to shows at the age that I did, or being around the men in those bands. Like, also, why were all of the men in those bands, like, they're like 19, 20 years old, and there's like 13, 14, 15-year-old girls around them. Like, disgusting. So gross. Anyways, I was one of them. I was one of them. But anyways, back to this. So let me just get straight to the point. Just rip the Band-Aid off, and then we can talk about all of the insights and downloads after it. So I had a client last year who was with me for like 9 months, and we had another 7 months on our contract together of me coaching her. And, she had failed multiple payments to me each month, and she was on the lowest possible payment plan that I was comfortable allowing. And it was even stretched to where she would still be paying off her coaching container with me like 9 months after our time had actually ended together. And she had fallen behind like four months of payments. And every time it was, I'm going to pay you. I really need this work. Because here's the thing. I thought too, they tell you, the business coaches tell you, the gurus tell you that, if you don't pay, you don't get to play. But all of these issues that she was having, I was like, you need me. And she agreed. She's like, I know, I need you. Like, I need your help. And so for me, I was doing it through the lens of eventually the money's going to get paid. Eventually this container will wrap up. Like, I can help her move her needle so much more now than if I were to be like, okay, bye, see ya, we will continue this whenever you catch up on your payments. That was a decision that I made for my business, and for it felt good in my body to do that, right? I wasn't doing it for any other reason than it made sense to me. Well, 4 months after that conversation, she told me, within a span of 33 minutes, she told me that I didn't have a white flag clause in my contract, that other coaching containers that she's been allowed to offer, I needed to use my humanness and get her out of this contract because it was I'm using words that she has used, a financial noose around her neck. And I'm having these facial expressions to all of this because it is so just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And as someone who mentors others, I always tell them, like, do your research. Like, don't just choose me because you like what I say in my marketing, you like what I say in my videos or my podcast. Like, you need to really know in your body, like, if this is going to work for you. Here, talk to some of my other clients that I've worked with, talk to other people that know me, like, really do your due diligence to see if this is going to work for you. And what I want to present to all of the business owners out there is there should be some kind of application, which I do have implemented in my business now, an application process where I don't just take on any old body, but I should also get to talk to these past coaches that you got out of containers with, right? Like, I should be able to contact these past mentors that you've had and ask how coachable you were. Because I've also had mentees, clients of mine, who were not coachable. Like, they came in, everything was great, but like the second, because I'm very honest and I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat, I'm not going to hold your hand, but I will be here to help you clean up the mess that you've created in your life. And because I don't like, what's the point? Like, you're paying me money to help you. I'm not going to sit here and be your friend. Like, a lot of my clients and I are friends, but like, that's not my goal. My goal is to show you exactly where it is that you're having issues, and together we fix them, we overcome them, we literally create you into the restfully rich woman that you are designed to be. And I was just thinking, like, the fact that this woman has had other contracts that she got out of and was allowed to just like leave without any kind of reprimand is not the right word, but at the end of the day, like, you signed a legal binding contract, right? And here's the thing with the coaching industry is people kind of just, I don't know, like, there's so much personalness in the coaching industry. Like, I know a lot about my clients. Like, I know their secrets, I know the drama that they're navigating in their real life. I am like a steel vault for a lot of things that they tell me, rightfully so. I have to get the full picture of you to really be able to help and guide. And so because I know all these things about them, there is this level of, man, I really know that you have a lot going on, right? It's that, like, and this is where the people pleaser comes in, is, you know what, you are going through a really hard time. So you, like, what you're going through is more important than me and mine and my business, right? So let me just go ahead and let you, right, get out of this or not pay me or whatever the case is. And I had a client of mine that I've talked about before. When she came to me, she had over $80,000 in instances like this where people just stopped paying her. They would file disputes on their credit card or whatever the fuck. And not enough coaches talk about this in the coaching industry because, yeah, it does happen. But it's about the energetic standard that you set for yourself, for your business, for your sovereignty, right? Here in America, we have legal systems that allow you to protect yourself, right? And I the second she sent that voice note, I said, okay, I'm moving this over to email so I can have this documented. Please tell me how you'd like to go forward. And she said, I can't pay you. That was enough for me. And the next day I took it to my courthouse and I filed a small claims court against her. Because that's me protecting myself and my business, right? And it wasn't like this girl had gone through a tornado and lost her house, or, you know, her husband died, or like something that would, and here's the thing, like there's the gray matter of it, right? It literally was just, I can't pay you. I don't have the means to pay you. That's not my problem. Like, you knew the amount that you legally signed a contract for before we even started together. You knew what you signed up for, right? Like, it wasn't because a life event had happened. And the whole process, I never once felt a shadow of doubt, a shadow of, oh my gosh, you're being mean. Oh my gosh, like you're really gonna hurt her. Like, you're doing a disservice to her. Because here's the thing, whenever you're a people pleaser, you care more about how others perceive you than you perceive you. I know good and damn well that I would not feel good about myself if I let someone do me dirty like that. I don't give a fuck how close we are, how much I know about you, whatever. Like, when it comes down to it, when you're running an empire, when you're building a movement, when you are creating a different standard of living for yourself and for others around you, you have to hold that standard. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I would have grappled with this like no other. I would have had to have 9 other people's opinions of, is this right? Is this wrong? Should I do this? Should I not do this? But now it was like very clean, energetic. This is my next step here. I had clients in the very beginning when my, you know, containers were $200 a month, where they wouldn't pay me. And I would just be like, well, that sucks. Like, it's $200 I don't have. Not that the dollar amount mattered, but it was that I didn't want to be in a battle with someone that I put above me. Let that sink in. I didn't want to battle someone who I thought was better than me. I thought they would win because I didn't value myself. I didn't value my work. I didn't value the transformations that I was offering people. I truly only cared about this person being someone who said nice things about me, someone who thought that I was agreeable, someone, you know, like all of that is such, honestly, bitch behavior. Like, that is not how powerhouse women operate. Period. Now, this isn't to say that, and I had a friend of mine tell me that, you know, and she's a coach too, and she was like, I'm about to leave the industry, like I'm so done with it, like the what's the word, whatever that word is, she's like, I can't stand to keep seeing it, blah blah. I'm like, what happened, like what's going on? Another coach that she knew was putting on this massive event, and it was a few years ago whenever we had a really bad hurricane hit the, like, remember at Asheville, North Carolina, I hope that's the right, but they got like totally fucked, like unexpectedly. And there were people that were from there that were going to this event. Long story short, this woman was like, I don't care that you lost all of your shit and had a hurricane, like it's non-refundable, right? Like that is sleazy. That is not doing the right thing, right? Like, that is not guiding yourself in integrity. Because I understand the universal laws as well. Like, I understand the universal law of karma. I understand the universal law of cause and effect. And all of those laws do state that every reaction has a positive or negative reaction. So you have to also weigh your options through the lens of the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, because I thought, and I still do think, depending on what's actually going on, like what is the meat and potatoes of what is happening, that is how you make your decision, right? So if someone just lost their entire home through an event, like, I don't know, something fucking horrible happens, obviously you should use your discernment and do whatever you believe is best. And even if, because here's the thing, there are 3 sides to every story: the truth, then their story, and your story. I said that backwards, but whatever. And the fact of the matter is, I'm a villain in her eyes. I'm causing her harm in her eyes, right? I don't think she's a villain. I don't think she's causing harm in my story, but I definitely think that I value myself more than I value her not being able to fulfill a financial obligation that she agreed to, right? Like, and this also will absolutely matter about your own relationship with money, with your own relationship with receiving, with your own relationship with how the world operates and treats you. All of these people that I'm sure you can name, quite a few that you know, I know quite a few, that are very victim mentality, that the worst things always happen to them. They literally attract that shit. And before you come in my comment section and talk about, well, why would I attract my parents dying? Why would I attract to getting beat up as a child? I'm literally not talking about shit that's outside of your circumstances, but I am talking about how you operate in those circumstances, right? I Friday. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. This video we posted much later after this actual date, but May 1st is the day that my mom took her life. That's in less than 24 hours for me. And when my mom killed herself, I literally could have said, woe is me, the world is falling, like I can't believe that I lost my mom to suicide, or whatever narrative I could have spun. Instead, I let it light a fire under my ass, and I decided to change the trajectory of my life because life is too fucking short. I know people who have been in similar circumstances and their life took a complete down spiral after they went through something that was, it's heartbreaking. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not, but how you react to the things that life not even throws at you, that puts it in front of you, will determine how you react to how life reacts to you. How you stand in yourself, how you guide and lead yourself will determine how your reality turns and shapes and shifts itself to match your output. When I was very like, oh, pick me, oh my gosh, I'll do so good for you, blah, blah, blah. I literally got the people who didn't value me, who didn't care about me. And I care a lot. But here's the thing, I care way fucking more about me than I care about anything else. And that has got to be the standard. And if you hear this and you're like, oh my God, that's so selfish. That is so wrong. You think they crucified Jesus Christ for being nice? No, he was bold. He took action. He did things that others didn't agree with. He stood for what he fucking believed in. And you're gonna have that too. You're going to have people that are, you could be the most nicest, most agreeable, most people-pleasing person on this planet, and people are still going to try you. People are still going to come at you crazy. So people are still going to do things that you don't agree with, but it's how you act and respond to those things that will either increase them, where they're going to keep on happening to you, or you're going to prove to God, source, the universe, that you're one and done, babe. I don't need this to keep happening to me. My client that came to me that had over $80,000 in this exact instance, she was not putting herself first. She didn't want to be known as this leader in her industry who would have people bail out on contracts. She didn't want to be this leader in her industry who had people step inside her world and go, you know what, I'm out of here. So that's all that her reality was focused on. So she kept attracting the same type of people because that is not normal. Yes, you know, once you hit, like you're going to have like your profit and loss, right? Like you're going to have things that happen. Whenever I worked at Olive Garden, we had profit and loss for literally everything. Our food, our dishware, our team member turnover, like everything. It's going to happen in every fucking business, right? But when it's a constant thing, that's when you got to go, I think I'm part of the problem here. You know what I mean? And it's not to gaslight yourself. It's not to make yourself think that you are do no harm and the rest of the world is out to get you. It's how do I respond to something that is disrespectful? How do I respond to something that is downplaying me, degrading me, not valuing me? How do I respond to that? How do I act accordingly? And that has got to be your standard for everything in your life. And if you apply the Restfully Rich framework, being Restfully Rich does not mean that you're out here firing everyone up who's done you wrong. It's you are so steady and steadfast in yourself and what you desire and the life that you are building that everything else that is not aligned is a big fuck you. Everything else that's not aligned. Okay? Not everything else except for that friend of yours who's never been supportive, who always talks behind your back, that you've caught in multiple lies. She gets the stakes, you've known her forever. Not fuck you, everyone except your sister-in-law who has hated you the second you join this family, who makes you feel really uncomfortable at Christmas dinner. Like, no, it's everyone and everything. Speaking of everything, all of the habits that you have that you know do not get to go with you to your highest level, why are they still your habits now? I will be 3 years alcohol-free in June, and let me tell you what, the decision that I made to stop drinking alcohol, it did come from my very clear path of what my habits were and what habits were not serving me. And waking up hungover every day for the past 7-8 years, that was not who my next level was. Numbing myself, drowning out the noise, try to cope with the fact that both my parents were no longer here. Like that version of me had habits that this version of me can't even fathom. Like, what do you mean we used to live like that? Jesus Christ, right? And when you drop those habits that don't serve you, that don't align with you, when you drop those people that don't serve you and don't align with you, you start to get really clear on what is actually serving you, what is actually supporting you, and what you have to do and who you have to embody to where those things don't keep happening, right? Will I have another client do this to me? Probably not, because I have so much more of an extensive application process now. And I knew, and here's what's so funny about just like intuition. I knew whenever her and I started working together, I was like, this really feels like I'm saying yes to something that isn't fully aligned, right? That was a different time of my life. Now I value the ability to impact someone more than having a roster full of unaligned clients. Because what I'm selling to people, what I'm delivering to people is a lifestyle change, is a lifestyle movement. It's not just, hey, here's how I think we can fix your problem. It's, hey, let's shift you out of this identity you've been navigating and into the one that's actually where you're wanting to go and what's actually going to serve you and bring your life to that you have been dreaming about to fruition. That is the level that I'm operating at, you know? And while we're on the topic of what's mean and what's not mean, consider this your permission slip to bark up anyone's tree who barked up yours first. You know, I actually was having this conversation a few months ago with my husband, and I was like, you know, I don't necessarily agree with because he was telling me how whenever he grew up that his father's response to everything was, you don't start the fight, but you make sure you finish it. And that was the same response that I had in my home growing up. So it was almost like you were taught to, you know, don't start anything. Don't be the reason that something pops off, but make sure that you're the one that finishes it. And I think that the idea should be, you are so steadfast in who you are and like what you believe, that you're going to speak up. You're going to defend yourself. And that ideology that both of our parents taught us is about like, if someone hits you first, then you can hit them back. But the reality is, especially on the internet, people really love to hide behind their screens and play fucking keyboard warrior. And if someone tries to devalue you as a human by just, I don't know, talking nuts, like saying crazy things, like not the whole internet, but a vast majority of the internet mocking Erica Kirk is truly and honestly disgusting. And that makes me believe even more that we are in a era of spiritual warfare, because that is straight up demonic evil shit. I don't care who you are. That is disgusting behavior. It's disgusting. But instead of like people wanting, because it's cool, right? It's cool to mock this widow. It's cool to make fun of her husband getting brutally murdered in public and on camera for her children to grow up and see one day. It's cool to hop on the let's make fun of her appearance bandwagon. So when you have something that's like mass cool like that, it's really hard to go in and say, hey, I actually disagree. I actually think this is evil and demonic and horrible, because the whole world's going to attack you. But again, Jesus Christ was not crucified because he was kind. He wasn't crucified because he was nice and agreeable. Okay. I honestly think that the more that we stand up to the things that are honestly wrong, right? Like it honestly wrong. You not only put up that energetic shift of, I don't tolerate this shit, right? Because let's take it back to the algorithm. The reason that I feel like I see a lot of this shit on the internet about specifically Erica Kirk getting made fun of and everything is because I have read through the comments and seen the horrible shit people have said. So the algorithm is like, oh, you want more of this? Cool, let me keep feeding it to you. Life is literally that way. The algorithm was literally built through how reality actually works. Through your reticular activating system, which is in your brain. It's literally the thing that causes, whenever you think of a red car, you see a red car. That's literally how the algorithm was created, was what people see and interact with, we're going to give them more of, because that is what happens in our reality, okay? So if you're someone who's constantly being bombarded with all this horrible shit, stop engaging with it. And I'm talking about real life. Like if you're someone who attracts really weird, unlucky things, it is because of you. It's not because that's just how the world works. It's because you are attracting it. And I will 100% say I attracted this client bailing on almost $10,000 with me. I attracted that. Because I truly do believe in my heart, I was like, I fucking wish someone would do this, because I am not the version of me that I was 3 years ago who would be like, oh, that's okay. I hope life gets easier for you. Bye. No, it's, I'm going to hold you to the same standard that I hold myself to. And that goes for everyone in my life. I hold everyone to the same standard that I hold myself to. And what's interesting is my life has gotten significantly better since doing that, because before, when my standard of myself wasn't so high, I didn't have a whole lot of high standard shit happening in my life. But when I elevated it inside of me, my reality had no other option but to match exactly what I was expecting. So, long-winded version of saying, have higher standards, give more of your bitch energy, be a little mean, because what's the worst that's going to happen? Honestly, what's the worst that's going to happen? You are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for, and when you step into that power, things start to shift so beautifully. So what are you waiting for? Stop letting your comfortability be the reason that you are not expanding. You can't have both. I'll see you next time. Bye.